A very good evening and welcome to UBC News Tonight, today on the 15th of May 2022, a beautiful Sunday. My name is Sharon Chumdishe, joined by Mgalu Muhammad on sign language in the latest news of the day. Chigandongo Crest Sugar Factory. Fire destroys grass-thatched kiosk at National Theatre. And still to come, Uganda leaders welcome a united EAC army. While in more stories, former Archbishop Stanley Ntagali advises clergy to plan for their retirement. In our top stories of the day, President Yoweri Museveni has assured Ugandans that there's a lot of surplus electric power yet to be consumed in many strategic areas of investment, particularly industrialization. Now, the president said the current surplus power, including solar power, can be enhanced and be used for pumping water for irrigation, for agro-production when the rains are not sustainable.
The total investment in this facility is US $60 million. The company currently employs 5,000 people, and this number is expected to grow to 8,000 in the coming years as production increases.
This factory is licensed to crush and process 5,000 tons of cane per day. I have been informed that the installed capacity of the factory is estimated at 4,000 tons cane per day, but it is operating at 1,500 tons of cane per day. The efficiency is expected to gradually improve with the time due on the ongoing training of local technical personnel and machinery adjustments to process cane in the factory.
Ati ira tukabagambira itabaye NRM okozesa amagezi gokuleta aba bantu abarikwesobora abaine sente kandi abarikuserura ahi bakukorera emirimo yabo ey'okukora sente ahataine ntaro ahaine enkurakurana. Abamu tubakikwata kurungi tubakimanya batekereza ngo nohurira abamu bagamba tweberwe abahano nimbahurira abakubaza batyo bagamba ngo tweberwe abarakora imirimo y'obusubuze hano tweberwoha taro otweberwe kandi omukureta abantu ntuyamu sente zokukonyera abaitu ubwo omusajja kwakwijja yakora hanyuma yasasura emisoro nisobora okukozesa sente zokukonyera omunyoro owahano hati nkokumukorora ebyenkurakurana byona biri nk'ekijegere ekijegere kigenda nikikwatagana hata aba bantu baresire ikorere hano ligenda kukora tani za sukari emitwaro 8 n'ekicweka mu mwaka. Abamutunda nabo benda kumurika amashanyarazi mukakaba no mwirima. So they want transformers. So remind me to direct the Minister of Energy to help these people get transformers. Because we have got a lot of electricity and no consumers. Consumers are not so many. We have got surplus power. So these people are crying for power, then the surplus power, then remind me, we will get the transformers. I came to open the factory. I finished my work. Thank you so much, everybody, and I congratulate the Rai Group. I congratulate Chiri Andongo. I congratulate Uganda on this additional milestone. Thank you very much.
In more news, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayewa, has hailed the North Kigezi community for spreading unity under the umbrella body Banyaruhinda Barukunjiri. Tayewa was officiating at a fundraising ceremony for the construction of Rak Bukoba Church of Uganda, found in Ruhinda sub-county. Now, the function took place at All Saints Cathedral, Kampala, and attracted the caretaker of North Kigezi Diocese, Patrick Tugume. Over 60 million shillings have been secured past the budget of 60 million, which was put on the table. The group from North Kigezi also vows to utilize the unity achieved to promote government programs like parish development model, among others.
Atija kuombekera mukama kandi byone binza muri kunjire niyo group y'indeba so mwe bare kuba consistent amwe bare mnonga ni toche ni kutereza amani titkwetaga kuba binji. We don't need to be many kukora umurimo murungi. Yeah, we don't need to be many. Nkanyo wanje Ruhinda no stingira yo fundraising. No. Mutamu yona nkakora fundraising gaje. Konga nkarunda neza abandi bakora mu fundraising zicumi. So nyo wanje tingira fundraising. Namwe ntatimbe mwata horuru. Banyabo wanje nkabatera horuru. Otarinye ta fundraising ngo ine kanisa ine karizi exit. Muombeke muhanike inje shakari. So hati cyatuma abantu batandika bakora basogona nambwe nyo mwazo bansindikire ekareziya n'amakanisa mushanjo aginkutekwa kuza kushaka konga nkakitekaho nanye cyatuma bakora munonga nanye nkore munonga so chikoro byanshanga tinkugira konka kuashoma nkejo listi. That's very, very important.
We started from Kampala by mobilizing people who live in Kampala, Entebbe and Jinja to form an association called Abanyaruhinda Barujumbura Development Association. One of the arms of that association is having a circle which also has incorporated about 55 people who live down in Orthodox. Because that association has 335 members currently. The right honorable speaker comes from Ruhinda North, and I don't want this to be confused with Ruhinda sub-county, because Ruhinda sub-county is in Rukunjeri district. Ruhinda North constituency is in the Mitoma district. So they are totally different. But generally, he is a supportive person. He supports development, he supports community activities, and maybe our selection was timely because we know that is what he wants. He wants people to get out of abject poverty, even before he became a speaker.
This church is already in its way promoting unity because it is based on a number of issues that are gathering people together. One, people from different parts of the district, people coming even from different districts like Mutoma, people coming in from south part of North Kigezi, which is Kigezi. So Rwabukoba is a church that is bringing more formidable force and forging into unity, a united front for the diocese, for the district Rukunjiri.
In more news, President Yoweri Museveni has called for continued proper nurturing of children to enable them ably handle adult lives. Now, this was contained in a message read for him by the Prime Minister Robna Nabbanja at a wedding ceremony of the woman Member of Parliament for Agago District, Beatrice Akelo.
The woman Member of Parliament for Agago District, Akelo Beatrice Akori, has been joined in holy matrimony to Madaraka Kenneth Orik during an event officiated by former Archbishop His Grace Henry Luke Orombi, assisted by Reverend Canon Erinayo Oriema Okwera. The high-end marital bliss was attended by the Chief Justice of Uganda Owenyi Dolo, Prime Minister Robina Nabbanja, and Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Taebwa. She was joined by other members of Parliament who actively participated in ushering Akelo into this new life. It is an occasion that Prime Minister Robina Nabbanja was part of. She was here to represent the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
This occasion marks the beginning of a lifelong partnership.
Neno matini ena ya cheki me meru kachiel.
I thank the parents, Honorable Kwera Peter, and the family of Reverend Oshibo Dennis Akori for the invitation you accorded me to witness the joy of seeing your children united in a holy matrimony.
The President underscored the need for young people to marry after thorough background checks are conducted.
My appeal to you is to anchor your relationship on love, commitment, understanding, and respect for each other. I always advise young people that when you complete your first crucial stages of education, it is important to get married.
The President thanked Akelo Beatrice Akori for her support to the NRM party, pledging continued development of the area.
I want to thank all the people of Agago District for the support you have continuously given the national resistance movement.
Government
is committed to continuing with development efforts, with particular emphasis on increasing household incomes.
This was at Lira Paluo Senior Secondary School playground in Agago District.
Congratulations to the wedded couple. In more stories, Police Fire Brigade has this Sunday extinguished fire that was burning two thatched kiosks outside the National Theatre. Now, though police reached the scene in time, the fast-spreading fire had already destroyed valuables in the kiosks, mainly clothes and drinks in the kiosks. We have a detailed report on this story.
Living in grass-thatched houses should never play with fire. This has come to light as two grass-thatched kiosks in the compound of the National Theatre were burnt by a midday fire as a welder meddled with his tools. However, as the saying goes, a stitch in time saves nine. Police Fire Brigade responded pretty fast and managed the fire before it spread to neighboring kiosks and cars within the National Theatre compound. Police Fire Brigade struggled with the smearing fire that was seething through the dry grass that acted as the roof of the container kiosks.
13, 16.
It's like 2 hours. Never 2 hours. Okay, it has taken now 1 hour. So
Onlookers credited police for responding to their calls in time.
Oluusi okutuuka bakadde ezibadde n'amazzi naye bukyalubanga lwa mmindi mbeebaza olw'ekyo emmotoka zituuse ate n'amazzi bwegali ne bakola kyonna ekyetaagisa okulaba bataakiriza gane eddakiika 5 bizze bisibaliddaawo babadde bookya babadde bookyawo oluguudo.
The containers were locked by the time police battled the fire. The owners of the businesses of the burnt kiosks were not around by the time the fire broke out. This report was compiled by Fred Kasbante for UBC News.
So upset for all the people that were working around National Theatre, but we hope that they can be able to work around what they've lost. Moving on from that, a section of members of parliament have welcomed the recent signing of a peace accord in South Sudan aimed at uniting fighting groups into one army. Toro North County Member of Parliament Geoffrey Kanya says that this will not only create more stability, but also stop market from weapons. The move is coming at a period some refugees are reported to be returning home, according to Minister for Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Engineer Hilary Onek. Details follow.
Out of 1.6 million refugees living in Uganda, over 800,000 are from South Sudan. It is a country that has been at war with itself, rendering it insecure and unstable, forcing some of its citizens to flee for safety. But this instability, however, could soon come to an end if the recently signed peace accord to unite all fighting armies is anything to go by.
If we have now agreed to unify our current forces, then let us work together to prevent anybody who is not with Dr. Riek Machar and not with us. We should prevent such people from spoiling what we have now made to be good.
Personally, I would be happy if this was done in a shorter time so that I can relinquish one of the titles that I have.
Such gesture has been welcomed by some Ugandan leaders, including those in the refugee management sector.
As you are aware, South Sudan is a country which has been mismanaged, I think, for very many years. And the infrastructure is not almost there, it is limited. And businesses are also quite limited, and industries are not there, etc. And they depend on importation, on imports from Uganda, Kenya, and even from outside Africa.
Recently admitted into the East African Community Regional Bloc, Ugandan MPs want South Sudan to come clean with its efforts towards peace.
The East African community at the time is it's a little stable part of Africa. And so to receive them, and yet they're still worrying, would be bringing a bad egg into the system.
You just find each and everyone is having guns. Guns is like the walking sticks in the families, and there's no rule of law. It's very hard to govern the soldiers as we talk now. So I pray, coming up together, signing the agreement and forming a united army, I think that will solve very many problems in the African continent.
With guns falling silent and business returning to normalcy, there will be no war, and therefore no more market for weapons.
War is very bad. We just become a market for weapons and manufacturers of weapons instead of transforming and developing our region. So I want to congratulate the warring parties that have signed the agreement. They should remain peaceful. We will support them as East Africans and Africans to ensure that the peace agreement and the result is achieved.
In the meantime, efforts to make lives of refugees comfortable in Uganda continue, with the recent acquiring of funds to tarmac roads in refugee hosting communities.
At the moment that program is on, we are working closely with the UNRWA, together with Ministry of Works, to see that the resources available to us through the World Bank is used to tarmac these roads.
The World Bank-funded project is aimed at easing movement and boosting business.
Overall, there are a total of over 900 kilometers of roads are supposed to be tarmacked under this program, connecting about many districts in our country. And for me, I thought this was really a good intervention and support to government, NRM government program to make our roads all-weather roads and to improve on our business and economic activities.
Uganda is currently home to about 1.6 million refugees. The current influx is from Democratic Republic of Congo, a country recently admitted into the East African community. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Retired Archbishop of Uganda, His Grace Stanley Ntagali, has advised the clergy to always plan for their retirement. Ntagali was speaking at a Thanksgiving service for Reverend Deacon Edward Twesige of Mpefo COU upon being ordained as a deacon. Now, the function was held at his home in Mpefo Town Council in Buyaga West in Kagadi District.
The clergy have been urged to plan for their retirement and educate their children for their bright future. Retired Archbishop of Uganda, His Grace Stanley Ntagali, has thanked God for guiding Reverend Deacon Edward Twesige to a level of a deacon.
I take him as my son. I mentored him, and he called friends to give thanks to God who has called him. The church prepares ministers and educates them, ordains them, and sends them in the field. So this Reverend Edward Twesige has now become a deacon in the Church of Christ in the Diocese of Bunyoro, and he's going to be deployed to do pastoral ministry in a parish. So we thank God for his calling and for his response to the ministry.
He advised him to serve with commitment and honesty. Reverend Deacon Edward Twesige was ordained by the Bishop of Bunyoro Chitara Diocese, the Right Reverend Samuel Kahuma, who thanked God for the miraculous gift of God's service.
P7 nagira bakani ndo P6 so kwenda kubagambira ngo kusoma kiri kintu kikuru muno abana mu batwale hasomero kandi nyikiza nguna degree ndagijwala ruhanga ali mukonyezi wange mwebale muno nganzeni abatutunulire inywe na ba UBC aba TV West mwebale abantu bona abanyakwizira mukoro guno.
Reverend Deacon Edward Twesige is from a humble family who strive to acquire education. At the function, the deacon received a contribution of over 18 million shillings and was advised to utilize the funds well. Present at the function was Dennis Namara Bindeba, a legislator at the East African Legislative Assembly, former LC5 chairperson Chibale, Amara Peter, politicians and the clergy.
In more stories, Mitiana Bishop, the Right Reverend Dr. James Bukomiko has advised parents to always provide quality education to their children. The bishop was speaking at the confirmation ceremony of 100 children at Chikonde Church of Uganda in Chankwanzi district.
Giving the young generation quality education is among the avenues of preparing them for a better future. The Bishop, Mitiana Diocesan, the Right Reverend Dr. James Bukomiko, wants parents to emphasize educating their children for a better future.
Ababulizi okubanga babeererawo abaana abo n'abazadde n'abasumba okulaba nga tuzimba abaana abato baveemu abantu ab'omuwendo nga Yesu bwe yakola. Tusomye mu Makko essula ey'ekkumi Yesu yayagala nnyo abaana bato newakwadde nga abantu abakulu baali tebaagala abaana bato nga balowooza batawaanya Yesu naye Yesu yamanya nti tuyinza kuzimba bwakabaka ng'abaana tubasudde mu guluka.
Bishop Bukomiko, who was confirming youth into Church of Uganda, urged parents to work with the teachers to raise a better generation. The Archdeacon, Chankwanzi Church of Uganda, Venerable Ndamulira, advised the young generation to respect their elders.
Okumanya omuwendo gwabwe ng'abaana ate era n'eri abazadde okumanya omuwendo gw'abaana ti abaana kyekirabo Katonda kyatuwadde ate nga kyekitiibwa kyaffe era kitugenda okwenyumirizaamu mu maaso nga tukaddiye. ate era n'okuzimba eggwanga lyaffe, ekkanisa n'ebitundu byaffe okutwalira wamu olw'okulabira obulungi abaana ng'abazadde, okulabira obulungi abaana, okubakuliza mu mpisa ennungi.
The confirmation ceremony of 100 children at Chikonda Church of Uganda in Chankwanzi district attracted teachers, parents and school children.
Moving on from that, the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Ms. Judith Nabakova, has directed police to identify those who wanted to forcefully take over Busabala playground last Sunday. The minister, who has been in the area following the Deputy Speaker's directive over the matter, has also halted any activities on the contested land. Details follow.
Many have lost their lives, for example.
This was a matter tabled to Parliament late last week.
Stormed the Busabala playground with tractors.
I want the ministers to go on ground. And then you report back to this house Wednesday next week.
To ascertain the situation, Lands Minister Judith Nabakova, as directed by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, has been in Busabala.
Mama tutase ngawe nkumanyi okuva mu police nkufollowinga mama Nabakova.
During the minister's visit, one Salongo Chibandwa, who claims ownership of the land, was the first to testify.
Mvasese erettaka lino lyali lya mukulu wange Yokana Namuyimba Senkungu. Olwokubanga nze mbeera Sese ate nga najjidde nkiiko za kika ekyapa kyange kyasigadde Kalangala.
However, this was disputed by the tenants.
Naye tewaliwo muntu alina kyapa okujjako ekya fake ku kisaawe kino.
Chibandwa, however, also refuted the allegations that he intends to evict the squatters.
Nze sigobangawo muntu n'omu yenna.
Judgments of this land, however, want government to bail them out.
Requesting the government that in case we get someone or the rightful owner of this place, let the government help us to pay him or her so that we can save a big number of people that are squatting on this land.
The meeting was also informed about the ownership claims by one Elizabeth Wavamuno. To others, this land initially belonged to the Buganda Kingdom.
Fengo Obwakabaka bwa Buganda tuli basanyufu nnyo. Era tulinamu essuubi okulaba nti embeera eno ojja gitereeza. Tusinziira ku bukugu bw'olina n'ebiwandiiko bye tusoma nti oli mukugu nnyo naddala mu kutereeza ensonga z'ettaka.
The meeting was attended by, among others, Area Member of Parliament, Wakiso District RDC and her deputies.
Omuntu agenda akola effujjo lyonna ng'ali DPC ng'akimanyi bagenda kunkyusa bukyusi. Biitaaga abantu bano nabo bakwatibwe batwale mu mbuga z'amateeka.
Today we have had a meeting with the people. And I bless God that has been successful, and we are going to dig deeper so that we find out the true owner of this land.
The Lands Minister Judith Nabakova wrapped up the meeting.
This place has been there for a long time, but because it was at a short notice, we couldn't really dig deeper to understand matters of ownership. You've seen that there is a certain gentleman from Kalangala who said he has a mile title. Then we realized that there is somebody who has a lease which is expiring in 8 years. Then we know, or we are told, this land belongs to Buganda Land Board. So we cannot really tell off card. Unless we go back into the system good enough, Minister of Lands is the custodian of all titles. We shall know and understand. After getting to the bottom line, then we shall engage the person responsible or the owner, the real owner.
The minister, however, left behind some standing orders.
I've told the DPC to look for the person who was trying to clear this ground at night, because we know most of the activities are supposed to be done during day, when everyone is seeing. The leaders must know what is taking place, but we are told somebody came at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the night. And then when I asked around, who is that? Did you try to look at the number plate of the vehicle? It's like they don't have the information. So that's why I directed the DPC to investigate, but also retrieve the CCTV footage. They look at the footage, and probably we shall get to know the vehicles that came on ground, and the vehicles will lead us to the person who was behind the activity that was taking place.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Roberto Nyango, for the updates on the Usawale playground land. In more stories, deployment at the boundaries of the neighboring districts of Acholi and Teso has reduced cattle raids and road ambushes in Karamoja. Now, this has been disclosed by the UPDF 3rd Division spokesperson, Major Isaac Oware, at the parade of 4 suspects suspected of trading ammunitions in Moroto district. Take a look.
The wave current of insecurity in Karamoja sub-region has escalated cattle raids, road ambushes and loss of lives. This has been attributed to thin army and police deployments.
Calm, contained and maintained as well. And this general situation is attributed to a number of operational considerations. Effective deployment of our reinforcement in terms of manpower, capability. We have enhanced and boosted our manpower of recent, and therefore this manpower has enabled us to bridge the gaps in terms of securing the grazing area, securing the border line.
This was disclosed during the arrest of a 40-year-old Angelo Akinei by a joint security forces. He was found with 90 live ammunitions.
He's the one who is well versed with the network of trading in ammunition. He looks for ammunition across the sub-region, even beyond the border in South Sudan and Turkana, trades the ammunition and brings the ammunition to supply to his criminal gangs.
Relatedly, a 35-year-old Marie Kolobiri and Kim Lomia of 27, residents of Moroto district, and one Abedo Awule, a resident of Kotido district, were also arrested for possession of illegal guns.
So you can see this one is among those notorious warriors, having taken over from Achuchu Peter, who is serving his sentence. So it's among those cells that is leading the gangs, the warriors.
Mercy Corps Country Director Edward Simeyu urged the Karimojong to desist from critics of peace in Karamoja.
You have to make sure that we stop all these things that send bad messages. To make sure we are in charge of our own development. We are the one telling the story of Karamoja, not the people who are writing in newspapers saying what is happening. Sure that nobody is killing one another in Karamoja, so that even when they come looking for people to kill one another, they don't see anything.
Insecurity is in isolation. We have moved all of today from October up to here. Have we had anything? So we don't need to scare investors, but we are going together with the security and government to work together with the community in order to bring the security situation to a standstill.
The suspects are to appear before court-martial on counts of illegal possession of firearms and intention to rustle livestock. Maureen Yeager compiled this report.
UBC News Tonight will take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories.
Jennifer, Jukila, Wagamba, I don't have waka. You passed the eyes through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
What the book packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV. This is where our best stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Oil and Gas Moment, brought to you by Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey. The development and commercialization of Uganda's oil and gas resources is being undertaken through 4 flagship projects, which will bring in investment over $15 billion into the economy. The Kingfisher project will produce 40,000 barrels of crude oil per day at peak. The Tilenga project will produce 190,000 barrels of crude oil per day at peak. The 1,443-kilometer East African crude oil pipeline project will transport the produced crude oil to access the international market via the Tanga port in Tanzania. The Uganda refinery project will process up to 60,000 barrels of oil per day to provide petroleum products to the Ugandan market and its immediate neighbors. Additional exploration work is ongoing in the Kanyotava and Ngasa areas in the Albertine Graben. For more information, visit www.pau.go.ug. Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Beat the back-to-school hustle today. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Select to pay using Bridge Schools, School Pay or Beg Pay. Select option 1, pay fees. Enter student number. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN number to complete payment. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Football packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Everybody, Go TV. This is where our best stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight. Moving on from that to more stories, the Bishop of Mityana Anglican Diocese, the Right Reverend Dr. James Bukomeko, has asked Christians in urban areas to support programs aimed at developing their home areas. Now, Bukomeko also wants communities living in areas that are not necessarily their ancestral homes to identify with each other for harmonious development. Take a look.
Mityana Anglican Diocese Bishop, the Right Reverend Dr. James Bukomeko, says it is very important for communities living and working in areas outside their ancestral homes to participate in the development of their communities.
Okujjukira nga tuweza emyaka 45 nga tutaddewo ekizimbe kitugenda okugula ekiweza obukadde 8.
Bishop Bukomeko was addressing Christians living in Kampala metropolitan area, but originally from Mityana Diocese. The function coincided with the funding drive for Mityana Diocese, as it marks 45 years since it was established. Bukomeko also revealed that the diocese will launch the construction project valued at 800 million shillings and appealed to well-wishers to contribute towards this noble cause. Mityana Diocese was established in 1976 with Yokana Mukasa as the first bishop and succeeded by Wilson Mutebi, Dasan Bukenya, Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, and now to date, Dr. James Mukomeko.
Now moving on to more stories, the ambassador of Eritrea to Uganda, Suleiman Ahmed, has launched the good relationship between Uganda and Eritrea. Ahmed made the remarks at the opening ceremony of Dibra Bisrat, a St. Gabriel Eritrean Twahedo Church in Zambia in Machindi Division. The ceremony was also graced by the clergy from the Orthodox Church headquarters, Namungona, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Sudan, among other nations.
Hundreds of Eritrean Orthodox believers in Uganda this Sunday gathered at Kasule village in Zambia in Machinde Division to witness the opening of Dibre Bisrat St. Gabriel Eritrean Tewahedo Church in Uganda. The temple is the first of its kind in the region. The ceremony was officiated by representatives from St. Nicholas Cathedral, Namungona, the headquarters of Orthodox Church in Uganda, the clergy from Eritrea, Ethiopia, Sudan, and elsewhere. The Archbishop Orthodox Church in Uganda, Metropolitan Jeronimus Muzeyi, was represented by Vicar General Orthodox Church Constantine Mbonabinji. In his speech, Metropolitan Jeronimus Muzeyi hailed the late Archbishop John Aranga for laying a foundation for Eritrean Orthodox community in Uganda.
The Eritreans came to Uganda and they went to Metropolitan John Aranga, that we have no place where to lay our head. But John Aranga said, you are brothers and sisters. Come and be praying from a classroom. But later on he reflected on what is written in the gospel and says, when you have one shirt, give to your brother. Then he saw that he had a plot in Nirubia. And he said, brothers and sisters, go and build a church in Nairobi. The
Eritrean ambassador to Uganda, Suleiman Ahmed, hailed President Museveni for allowing Eritreans to relocate to Uganda, a reason they can put up permanent structures.
This is the most appropriate place, and everyone is very happy with two governments with similar ideas. And we cooperate in many areas in the international forum. It's actually a big place, and the two governments appreciate each other.
The Deputy RCC Machindi, Doreen Keita, NRM Chairman Muyenga Bukasa Ward, Yasin Omar, and the village chairperson Stephen Semanda were among those that attended the event.
The time where we promote, we build oneness. We must be one.
Museveni asinga kwogera patriotism. Abantu bonna bajje mu Uganda ne Uganda bagendewa bweru. Ate ye esiga likulu mu NRM manifesto. Before these people could come to put here this multi-billion project of the church, the place used to be a hideout for criminals.
Sudat Kai, Ivan Joko, UBC News.
Minister of State for Works and Transport, Musa Echweru, has shown dissatisfaction with the progress of works on Lire Kamdini Road. In January, leaders and locals staged a demonstration for the appalling state of this road, which attracted the intervention of the president in April. The reconstruction of Lire Kamdini Road was launched by State Minister for Works and Transport, Musa Echweru. On return from a monitoring visit where Echweru was, he was shocked to realize that the reconstruction has not yet begun. We have details on what transpired.
We're only coming again to express the pain we have. This is an international route. It connects the seaport of Mombasa to South Sudan. It connects the seaport of Mombasa to DR Congo, apart from serving the districts of Uganda here.
In the recent past, Lire Kamdini Road has been a center of controversy in the region. The appalling state of the 78-kilometer stretch from Lire to Kamdini triggered a demonstration in January this year. President Yoweri Museveni then intervened by withdrawing the project away from World Bank, saying their strict conditions were causing delays. Weeks later, a position was agreed and the project was returned to World Bank for funding. On April 21st, State Minister for Works and Transport launched the construction of the 340 kilometers beginning from Kamdini Noyam district to Tororo. The 116 billion civil works was handed to Mataingil Africa, an international company from Portugal, to be completed in 36 months. However, on return for monitoring, the minister was asked by the delays.
Those ones covering the potholes, when will they be on the ground?
They are in the ground. And
but I've been on potholes,
yes. One team come closing the potholes.
When are they coming?
When is
the team coming? The one covering potholes?
They have a team already, yes.
But I've not seen the potholes are bad.
The pace is, I think they need to improve.
Can I come in 4 weeks' time, that's a month from now, and find a change here?
Of course.
Leaders who are highly under pressure from the residents say the appalling state of the road has suffocated development in the area. But Minister Ichweru, who confirmed government commitment to rehabilitate this road, pledged to return again after 4 weeks to ensure the president's pledge is delivered.
I want you to be sleeping here to make sure then I will see the Chinese. That's why they are defeating you people from Europe. Because the Chinese, when you give them job, they are very serious. Now for you, you want to eat chips, you want to...
Come in 4 weeks and you will see.
No, I take the job.
You will see the evolution of the work.
Okay.
What has started is the routine maintenance, which has begun to ensure the road is motorable, which we appreciate. But what we are saying is that we want to see the full reconstruction works to also proceed.
As if they use mud to fill the potholes. As they move, you find this one now coming out, going back to the original status.
If this road was worked on, it will take just 1 hour. For a patient, that means saving a life. For a business person, it means money. For a studying child, it means a degree, it means a A-level certificate, and so many other things.
Ichweru also checks the construction of the 191-kilometer road from Rekunye-Apache-Lirapuran Road, where delays were also witnessed. Here, only 3% of works have been completed against the anticipated 30%. This was majorly attributed to delays in design and compensation. Only 60 kilometers have been compensated and handed over to the contractor. Eddie Oloa, UBC News.
Teachers and learners of Mutuyera High School, Chitunga in Kajara and Tungamo districts have been equipped with knowledge and skills in patriotism. Patriotism instills discipline and revitalizes good standard of the school that dwindled because of frequent student strikes. Take a look.
Mutuyera High School is a historical Church of Uganda founded school whose enrollment started declining since 2005 when it fell from 1,410 to 753 learners by 2022. A week-long patriotism training course meant to equip students with skills of handling lifelong issues was officially closed by the RDC in Tungamo district, Geoffrey Muchunguzi.
Your country, loving yourself, entails loving everybody in your country, protecting your environment, doing everything to ensure that your country develops, and even negating the bad habits and continuing with good habits. The main thing I have realized from this program is that, or what we have realized from this particular program, is that it helps students to be disciplined and they become better than they were before the training.
The head teacher at Mutuyera High School, Twine Joseph Moganga, says patriotism equipped the learners and teachers with approaches of being open, communicating, having the ability to ensure identification of misinformation that often fuels strike.
And don't invite me to the dormitory area tonight. Don't invite me at the farm. Don't come to my place at midnight. And then you say I should come up and address you. And I think that dialogue is helping me a lot. Whenever students want to dialogue with me, I go there, and solutions have actually been provided timely, and riots are stopped. Save instances when they may be watching Arsenal playing Manchester United, and the generator goes off, and the memory goes off, or DSTV is switched off, and then they want the master to it goes on. We call that one sporadic, And that instance, when it is sporadic and you want the headmaster to give solutions to unrealistic demands, then I say students who are indisciplined. But in an instance, when their grievances are well presented, I've always provided timely demands. That is the peaceful order that you are seeing in the school.
The Deputy Chief Political Commissar National Patriotism in the Office of the President, Colonel Nelson Ahewa, said the patriotism training was to share with the learners ideas for improving discipline and performance in academics.
We believe that when learners and teachers, because we've been conducting concurrent courses for teachers and for students, once they self-discover who they are and why are they here, that a discovery of the motive will focus their attention, will avoid them being abused or taken away from their focus, and they will concentrate on their studies.
Joshua Kagor, UBC News.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Affordable packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Everybody, Go TV. This is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Ugandan shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidi Wano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Jennifer, Jukila, Wewagamba, I don't have waka. You pass the ice through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Thank you so much for still watching UBC News Tonight. In our business stories, cassava farmers have appreciated President Museveni for marketing the cassava crop among Ugandans and beyond. Now, this has been disclosed at the Cassava Expo, organized by the farmers at the Uganda Museum in Kampala. The operations manager, Aero Cassava Mbaguta Liberio, says production of cassava is important for food security and expressed the need of introducing new varieties to farmers.
Creation of a separate fund to support cassava farmers is among the recommendations demands by farmers to increase productivity. At the Cassava Expo, organized by National Agriculture Research Organization and cassava farmers, President Museveni was thanked for marketing their product.
The raising the price of cassava flour, it's because of the president's advert. The advert he made for us, the cassava farmers, when he mentioned if bread is expensive, we should resort into eating cassava. So the kilo has been at about 2,000. It's now 3,500.
The director, Airo Cassava Growers and Processors, Airo Eseza, says there is now an increase of cassava demand in the country. The operations manager, Airo Cassava, Mbaguta Liberio, says many farmers are doing cassava production on a small scale, yet it can create economic value.
A kilogram of cassava now is about 3,000 shillings. So if you put 140 plants on an acre of land, the question is, if you take very good care of it, then you're able to do what? To get high value, and it's a highly commercially viable enterprise that we encourage farmers to get into.
Farmers say there is a need for value addition on cassava.
There are high value items or products that actually come out of cassava. Cassava is a potential import substitute item for the wheat that we are talking about. Right now the country, we are saying that because Russia and the other country are fighting, we are unable to get wheat into the country. But if we supported farmers to do production and then establish factories or industries at their level or cottages at that level, they are able to add value onto these crops. It would ably substitute the wheat production that we are talking about.
Cassava was recently given a lease of life when President Yoweri Museveni proposed to Ugandans to embrace homegrown products like cassava instead of bread that is expensive.
Cassava is actually what we in the sector, we call it white gold, because it can change the life of any person who eats cassava, who grows cassava, and who consumes cassava. It is much more healthy because of the benefits that are in consuming cassava.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Kansai Plascon Paints Managing Director Santosh Gumte has questioned the level of counterfeit products that are derailing the business and calls for stern action from authority to curb the vice. Gumte was meeting dealers and customers of Western Region during a dinner hosted at Hotel Triangle in Barra.
As Uganda recover from the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, all avenues of quality production, especially at large-scale industries, have to point towards quality. Unfortunately, the paint industry in Uganda has been hit by counterfeit products that impact negatively. This has been highlighted by Kansai Plascon Managing Director Santosh Gumte while at a dinner hosted for dealers and customers in Mbarara.
The problem that we have had at the moment is the rising prices of crude. It has grown by more than 60% since mid-December, and that basically pushes the prices of all solvent-based paints. It's very difficult to control it because that's not in our hands. What basically happens is there's a lot of, because of the war, one, there's an issue regarding oil, second, there's an issue regarding supply chain. Many of the materials which are transported over land into China are now not moving so freely. So that also creates a shortage for our raw materials which are coming from China.
Gumte calls for stringent measures to clamp down on errant manufacturers whose works are derailing all others in the business. Gumte also spared thoughts about the current economic status of the country, in which skyrocketing prices are likely to lead to business breakdown.
Materials which are transported over land into China are now not moving so freely. So that also creates a shortage for our raw materials which are coming from China. Then there is also a general container shortage in the region, and because of that our suppliers find it hard to find containers to ship to us, and also the price of the sea freight has gone up significantly because of that. So these are some major challenges, and these are beyond our control. We try to absorb much of the cost that we can. So if we see from January till now, our cost has gone up by 20%.
The dealers were also informed that Plascon has rolled out a new look cost-friendly premium wood care products, including wood care interior and exterior, wood varnish clear, wood care preservative, and 2-pack. This interaction between Kansai Plascon top managers and dealers is an annual engagement that covers the entire country.
That's all we had for you for now. Thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight. You can join us again at 10 p.m. for more news coming your way. Stay tuned as well for more that comes from UBC TV. Have a good night. My name is Sharon Chomdisha with Ngal Mohammed on Sign Language.